Uh, Good morning again. I am Luigi Zeni. I am currently studying at the University of Zurich with Professor Thompson, whom I thank very much for having given me the opportunity to be here today. I would also like to thank yesterday's speakers for having given us such interesting inputs on how to rethink Mingei and consider it in comparison with other type of objects, for example, in terms of Mingu or folk modernism. Today, I will try to focus on the concept of Mingei style and try to understand if there is a way to address contemporary Japanese ceramics in a Mingei style way. First of all, I would like to look at three quotations from Yanagi's short essays to keep in mind what he considers being a Mingei artisan or craftsman. This will help us later to understand similarities in his way of thinking with certain contemporary ceramists rather than others. The first quotation is clearly very ideal and hypothetical, but what matters here is that the artisan is seen as a person working with the only intention of producing a functional object without any additional specific individual intention. The second quotation refers to the environment of the craftsman, which is restricted to a village or a small town, in contrast with modern big cities. And the third quotation is crucial because it touches the topic of beauty, which is very important for Yanagi. He claims that beauty is reached when the craftsman does not seek for personal recognition in the process of creating an object. During and after the Mingei movement, people started to attribute a label to folk crafts, and the perception of such objects changed. Nowadays, most of the Japanese art history students learn about Mingei during their studies. On one hand, they become aware of the existence and importance of such artifacts, and we learn how to appreciate them, which is one of Yanagi's goals. But on the other hand, the way of making Japanese crafts has slightly changed from the perspective of a craftsman. In order to understand this new approach to making ceramics, I would like to divide the ceramists into two categories. The first category consists of those ceramists that don't know about the existence of the Mingei theory. The second category consists of those ones that know about Yanagi and the Mingei movement. An example of the first category is the Kanogama kiln in Nokonoshima, which is right above Fukuoka. I was there last year and I had the chance to purchase two blue glazed dishes. An old man was making ceramics in his workshop while his wife was selling them in the shop. At a certain point, I asked them about their opinion about Mingei, and surprisingly, they had no idea who Yanagi or what the Mingei movement is. Apparently, they have been producing and selling their ceramics on that island as a long-lasting family tradition. And here I would like to recall Yanagi's quotations from before, because I could very much relate Yanagi's words to their situation. They have been making ceramics in a humble environment, without any specific intention of personal recognition, and the price was very affordable. It is in that situation when I thought that Yanagi's words could correspond to what these craftsmen were making. So I had the feeling that Yanagi's theory could still be applied to some extent to some example in our contemporary age. But let's now talk about the second category. The long history of Japanese pottery inspired contemporary ceramists, whose aim is not only to continue the heritage, but to bring it beyond in search of their personal artistic vision. This is why addressing them straight as Mingei is not the most appropriate choice. When comparing it with the first category, one realizes that the approach and the intention of making ceramics is different. As a matter of fact, the awareness of the conception of Mingei among some contemporary ceramists made them produce objects that might be related to Mingei, but they are not Mingei anymore. Such ceramists or artists consciously add their own personal taste to their works. The ceramics become distinguishable, and it is possible to attribute them to a defined ceramist. At the same time, they are no more mass-produced in large quantities, but they are single pieces of art sold for a rather high price. I would like to show you two examples. Tamba wares were traditionally functional, and the region is known for its historical sake bottles. Although many contemporary Tamba ceramists continue to make functional wares, their designs have incorporated some sort of modernist aesthetics. Nishihata's pieces include traditional tea ceremony bowls and vases and have an organic feel. The ash glaze of his wood-fire ceramics is mixed with the rough clay to create a textured surface. Also, we can see on the example on the left, the angular shapes on the edges complement the roundness of the overall forms. Besides this, a very typical trait of Nishihata's ceramics is the high hue finish. High hue is a white glaze with a hint of blue he invented by mixing wood ash with the ash of the rice plant. As a result, we could say that the glaze stands as one of his innovations in the Tamba tradition. Nishihata attributes a very specific meaning in applying this kind of white glaze. This is a quotation by him. "My high-hue glaze is inspired by natural scenery. You can visualize beautiful scenery. Streams running among rocks down a mountain, cedar trees covered by fresh snow, waves rushing against the shore, and so on." Internationally known, Hiroyuki Wakimoto is one of the most influential contemporary ceramists from Bizen. He strives to make forms fired in different parts of the kiln to achieve contrasting colors and decorations. His works are recognized by bold, sophisticated forms with clean lines and beautiful fire markings. In 2004, Wakimoto visited New Mexico. During that visit, Wakimoto held a roundtable discussion on wood-fired pottery with local ceramic artists. While being in Mexico, he also visited some of the ancient Native American ruins in the area. The distinctive culture of the Southwest left a strong impression on Wakimoto. For this reason, after coming back, some of the works appear to be inspired by architectural design of the ancient ruins, such as these two ceramics, these two vases. This is for sure a fascinating dialogue between the diverse ancient folk cultures in the East and in the West. For various reasons, such as anonymity, mass production, and cheap price, we cannot claim that these objects are purely Mingei. But perhaps we could say that these contemporary Japanese artists create works in the Mingei style. By making references to Yanagi's ideas and by borrowing from traditional crafts of Japan and other cultures, these artists were able to create a vigorous new type of art. In fact, if we keep in mind the division between the two types of ceramists, of contemporary ceramists, it's easier to perceive the boundary between Mingei and Mingei style. Thank you for your attention.